I have been living in Bangkok for many years, and while having an oil massage session with one of my regulars, she asked me a curious question. Do you have any rich friends who may be interested in investing in a massage business? She had been working in this shop and knew the business very well. She had a couple of partners who were going to start the business, but one of them had to pull out at the last minute as she wanted to open a bar instead. So she was looking for an investor to take over that partner's share. I told her to give me some time and I would get back to her as soon as possible. I had an older retired friend who had been visiting Bangkok frequently. I knew that he was pretty well to do, so I mentioned this business opportunity to him. He knew of this girl as well, but he said he would only invest if I invested in it as well. Well, as luck would have it, I had just liquidated some of my company's shares, so I had some spare cash. Since we were both getting into it, the risk would be smaller, and if the business went bankrupt, it would be a learning experience for both of us. So I called the girl and gave her the good news. Since my friend was a tourist, he did not want his name in any of the company documents, so I was his proxy for our share. Everything was above board. A company was set up with proper documentation, etc. Of course, everything was in Thai, and luckily I could read it, so it was not a problem for me. The girl, let us call her partner A, and her friend partner B had already been shopping around for a location and found one. The rent was decent. What was needed was some cleaning up and renovations. I tagged along with the girls to get the furniture and fittings. Most of the room would have the basic setup: bed, air conditioner, and a smaller shower stall. There would be one special room which would have a bathtub and a large mirror. Since we were minor partners, we would offer suggestions as it was up to the girls to make the decisions. Besides, this was a business that they had been working in, so they knew exactly what was required. We offered suggestions from the customer's perspective, which was an interesting combination. There was a joke about a guy applying for an accounting job. The applicant said that he knew the triple entry system. The boss asked, "What's that?" To which the applicant replied, "We have one entry for the taxman, one entry for the partners, and one for you." He got the job. Looking at the business on the surface, its main income came from the massage fee and incidental sale of refreshments. Based on that itself, the business can generate enough income after deducting the expenses, providing a decent profit. However, there is an undocumented income which comes from the sale of the consumables to the girls, such as the oil and the Nuru gel. The business started slowly in the first couple of months and was generating good income. There was a small bump before the first year ended as partner B had fallen out, so partner A took over her shares. For 3 years it was smooth sailing, and in fact by then we had almost doubled our initial investment. Now, being local, I would get informed of any new girls who have started work in the shop. It was an unofficial duty of mine to try out the girls. I would then give feedback to partner A, informing her of any shortcomings in the massage or aerobics department. She would then remedy that by providing her extra training. During the good times, the company organised company trips, and that was literally the icing on the cake. So imagine being the only guys going out with 20 to 25 girls to a resort, all paid for by the company. I remember a photograph of a famous soapy massage owner with 4 girls in a jacuzzi tub. Well, we managed to get our photo with 16 girls in a swimming pool. There are a lot of interesting stories about the shop. There would be customers asking for a couple of girls to get drunk with him. Fortunately, partner A was very protective of the girls and wouldn't let them go with such characters. There was a guy asking for 3 girls at a time, 6 hand massage. Aerobics would be very interesting. Things were not always rosy and the business suffered during the protests and the floods. And by then the business went down the tubes. I had a discussion with my friend and we figured that we'd already gotten our return on our investment and more, and we decided to sell our shares to partner A. She was ever so grateful and she managed to sell the business. I did not get any details from her. It was an interesting journey for me and my friend. We had a great experience with this project. Even if we had lost our money, the fun we had would have made up for it, but we actually made a profit. So that is how it happened. We never planned for it, we just went with the flow. So if that is truly a genuine story, which I'm kind of 50-50, I just say it sounds like the guy died and went to heaven. It's very unusual for a foreign guy to be able to read Thai as well as speak it. So I'll just take this story as it comes, as entertainment. Let's jump straight into story number 2. My name is Jonas. I enjoy listening to your channel, particularly the stories. Almost all of the stories on your channel, as well as others, involve single men who are either looking for vacation fun or seeking a long-term relationship, perhaps even love. Some stories end in disaster while a few have happy endings. Initially, I was reluctant to share my story as it is rather unique, but after some thought, I believe it could help many others in similar situations. There are plenty of us out there. I am currently 70 years old and have been married to my first and only wife for the last 40 years. My wife is 66 years old. As often happens after menopause, my wife lost interest in the bedroom department, which progressed to the point where she shows no inclination towards anything romantic. Unfortunately, she does not even try to pretend. Additionally, as she has aged, she is no longer physically attractive to me, although she does keep in decent shape, staying fit without an ounce of extra weight. Outside of that, she is an intelligent, honest and dependable person. We have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, and we are very close as a family. Neither of us is interested in divorce, as we do not want to break up the family. On top of that, we have substantial financial assets that we could fight over endlessly, with much of it going to lawyers. Despite my age, my libido has not diminished significantly, and when I see a young, beautiful woman, I feel like a young man again, looking for some action. I have had 2 affairs since my wife stopped being interested in the bedroom. Both ended because the women involved wanted me to leave my family and marry them. One, likely for financial reasons. My wife discovered one of the affairs after accidentally finding a letter from my lover, but perhaps she understood the reason for my infidelity. As she did not seek a divorce, though, she was truly angry. After I retired about 2 years ago, I came across your channel while surfing the internet. Hearing all these stories about older men going to Thailand and enjoying the time with beautiful young women really got my interest up. Why shouldn't an older man enjoy the company of a younger woman before he loses interest or passes on? Since the woman would be paid for her time, it seems like a win-win situation. I am a fairly social person and have several friends in my age group. Most of them complain that their wives are no longer interested in the bedroom department. Some of them end up satisfying themselves by watching adult videos or using escort services, while others live in quiet depression. After watching your channel for a few months, I decided to use your consultancy service, which I found extremely helpful, and I highly recommend it to anyone going to Thailand for the first time. Initially, I was going to travel with a friend, but he cancelled at the last minute, so I ended up going alone. After watching all the videos and using the consultation service you offer, I was well aware of the potential scams and tricks that working girls use to increase their income. I was not interested in a long-term relationship, or even worse, falling in love, as my family remains the most important part of my life.